my understanding is they had trouble with the R.
Yes, and she did identify that as a weakness because they have a problem breaking down the prompt.
Ah. Ms. Brooks, can you agree, disagree with any of the things that Ms. Vidalier, Ms. Smith stated that Ms. Vidalier said?
I agree with the concluding sentence.
The concluding sentence. Your kids too
had a lot of trouble with the conclusion sentence because the E is kind of like the explain, but it's not really wrapping up everything that's in the paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
So it's explained, like the way I presented to them was the E was explaining that you understood what you copied in C. Because if you copy something straight from the text and you don't understand it, then you're not getting E. So, yeah. Am I getting ahead of myself?
No, you're perfect. What I heard you say was that you explained to your students that after they cite, they needed to explain
that they understood what they cited.
That they understood they
because
cited.
You can cite all you want if you don't understand it. It's just a bunch of words.
And then she's saying that she saw that there was additional need for a conclusion sentence at the bottom. I like that. Which kind of might, I see Ms. Vidalier like nodding there. She's like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense, kind of deal. Okay, so you agreed with this. And then you both said, answered the questions to these right here, so I'm really excited about that. You guys knew what to do as far as mounting your expectations for your students, but yet we still had some problems when it came down to them being able to write on topic. So it serves a purpose that there's a need in order for us to fix the R. The R is not strong the way it is. The way we have it is restate or reword the question and turn it into a statement. Basically, that's what it was, right? So there's a need to probably add on to this R, or make this R a little bit more detailed. Yeah, a little bit more detailed. All right. What'd you say?
Based on the need of our students.
Based on the need of our students. Check, check. Because this is something that we are having. Ms. Jack, did you have some similar?
Yes, with the conclusion, I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just add, when I went over race,
right,
with the 6th grade students and 5th grade students, I stopped, we restate the question, but I gave an example.
Okay.
I gave an example.
So you're saying when you modeled your expectations, you gave what?
An example of what we were looking for, as to how to restate the question. And I did the same thing with the letter A and down, so on.
And were they able to?
They were able
progress?
to grasp, yes.
Okay.
Then when I did the E, just like Ms. Brooks said, I told them they needed to go back to the middle,
right,
in order to get a concluding statement.
And when you say in the middle, you're saying the citation.
Yes.
Yes, going back to those details that you pulled from the text to support your topic.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you. All right, so, but we are finding that there is a need, and Ms. Jack is sharing with us what probably we could do. We could give an example of how to restate that question. Ms. Brooks is suggesting that we just add a C in there, right, Ms. Brooks, to the cite and explain. And we'll get there, but I do have a little slight change into our race strategy. We're just going to add an S to race. Instead of race, it'll be racist. Check, check. And it might clear up some of this, okay? All right, so stepping out, I want you to shake your die. There should be a die that's inside of your bucket. Shake your die. No, you need more. Look on there. Shake your die. Everybody shake their die and then roll them. In that little bucket. It should be in one of those little buckets. See the blue one? See, Miss Smith, I'm thinking about you. There you go. Shake and roll. Okay, Miss Medallia, you have 2, 6, you'll be 5 because I don't have a 6 question, and 5, you'll be a 5 question. Instead of us going through all of it, we're going to just practice just the questions that we rolled. Check, check. All right. Miss, well, actually, we're going to have to do it. What did you see me do? We have to do the number 1 in order for it to actually be done. What did you see me do? I saw myself, I'm going to start it off. I saw myself using my popsicle sticks in order to solicit responses. Check, check. I also gave you a what? I also gave you a die in order to answer what? Some questions. Instead of my think, pair, share today, instead of you just talking with each other, what else did I give you?
You gave us a chance to write it.
I gave you a chance to think about it or write it down and then discuss it. So whenever it's time, I can actually do what? I can go back and reflect on this. I can pick these up and I can use these as ways to track my student progress. Check, check. Okay. So with all that said, those are things that you saw me do. Miss Jack, you rolled 6. We're going to go with 5. How can you use any of what I just did back in your classroom?
Well, we can think, pair, share.
Mm-hmm.
We can write down evidence and go back and compare it with another student.
I like what you're saying. So what I heard Ms. Jack saying is that she can use the think, pair, share in order for the students to be pulling specific evidence or the relevant details from the text. First writing them down and then talking to their partner about what it is that they agree or disagree on. Ms. Brooks?
Yeah. Why is it important for the students to have a writing model? If you introduce that think, pair, share, and you want them to write, why is that important? Anybody, not just me.
So they can become more efficient in their writing.
Exactly. And then, of course, what else? Because if they go with a blank paper, what happens there? So the writing makes them responsible and, of course, efficient, and it's also practicing their writing at the same time.
So what I'm hearing you say is this is a way to hold them accountable for the work that they do. Check, check. Okay. Ms. Brooks?
I think I could also take the think, pair, share back to my classroom, because sometimes when we're discussing, we get caught up in, what the other person is saying that we may forget our own thoughts. So giving them a chance to write it down will give them kind of like a stepping stool to give them a heads up on what they were trying to say, or maybe they didn't get to complete the thought, but they jotted a few things down. That'll help them to be able to complete those thoughts when we're sharing out or sharing with a partner.
I like that. You're saying that it helps them to organize their thinking, right? So that they can actually contribute to the conversation. So they can actually provide specific feedback to their peers. Check, check. Ms. Vidalian? You rolled 2. So why did I perform any one of the actions that I had given you? The think, pair, share, which Ms. Hawkill kind of touched upon, or the popsicle sticks, right? Or even the dice. Why was any of those actions actually necessary? Why did I do those actions?
Well,
or either one?
With the dice, that allows the students to focus on one particular question when you're presenting a multitude, kind of almost a slight jigsaw. Almost, they're focused on that, and then they come together and answer all of the questions together. Well, you're answering part to create the whole.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And it also just keeps kids from focusing on one question rather than, if you have 5 questions, there's a chance that everybody's going to focus on number 1 because that's the first one. But no, you rolled a 2, a 3, or 4. That's what you have to focus on.
I like that.
It helps move discussion.
And it does. It does move discussion, and it holds you responsible. You know your role. Your role is to answer what? this specific number. There's nothing else besides just that. You can focus on it. You don't have to be overwhelmed with all these numbers of questions that you have to answer. Just that one focus. I like that, Ms. Vidalia. And Ms. Smith, last one.
Where do the actions fit on the instructional rubric?
Where do the actions fit on the instructional rubric? So either your popsicle sticks, the dice that you have right here, the think, pair, share, any one of those actions that I perform, where would it fit on our instructional rubric?
I think it would apply to several, but two in particular.
Okay.
I think activities and materials. Because it's going to sustain the student's attention and it's going to support the lesson that you're addressing, as well as provide the students opportunities for student-to-student interaction. In addition to that, with the think, pair, share, you are constantly providing feedback because it could be an ongoing thing where the kids reflect on that and see how they started and the ending result.
I love that idea. I've never thought about that.
And the teacher can always go back and say, that I like what you did here, but how about if we fix this? And you can build on possibly making that 4 on that part of assessment.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. That was
And
very
is there
effective.
another indicator? Anybody see another one? The use of the popsicle sticks, the use of the die.
Think about roles and responsibilities and holding each other accountable for the work that they do.
Group and students.
They know their roles and responsibilities.
And you participating in group and are held accountable for their individual work or group work.
Y'all did an excellent job.
And
Yes.
Just having the die
Yes.
will motivate them because they will get a kick out of just rolling it to see what number is going to fall.
You're right, and that falls under motivating students, Ms. Jack. Yeah, it's exactly right. It definitely will keep it interesting.
And also focusing on questioning. The teacher calls on volunteers and non-volunteers as a balance based upon ability and sex. Your popsicle sticks, so of course, just random, not just calling a student name out. Okay, there's an equity system going on in here, so we're gonna pull a popsicle stick, or roll the die, giving them some opportunities for those students who actually don't answer all the time.
And I know you've noticed with me. I know y'all do it. We all do it. I put them down. I did good this morning, right? So I put them down, and then I'm like, okay, so now let's continue. And then when I lose it, then I'm constantly getting people popcorning out, and not everybody is participating. So I know we spent a long time, but I think it was valuable. Okay, let's move on. We have career teachers will analyze EBS or a question from Park Assessment. And you're going to answer these questions. Before I go on in there, real quick, remember y'all said that your kids were pretty much successful at pulling some relevant details that go along to the topic, but y'all were still having trouble with that R and them really developing a main topic, which kind of is hard. That kind of negates what's really going on because it's kind of hard for them to be able to pull details if they don't have a what? If you don't have a topic. You don't have an answer, which kind of leads us to our need. And we can do it real quick. It won't take us long. Our objective is, by the end of cluster, giving the race and the writing checklist. Career teachers will model a think aloud, evaluating writing expectations. It's going to be measured by leadership team observations and, again, student writing samples. Okay? So 2 things you're going to be given. You already have race. And you're going to get a what? Writing checklist. And you're going to be expected to model a what? A think aloud. Evaluating the writing expectations. Check, check? Okay. Oops. I think I went ahead of myself. Yeah, I did. I'm missing it. Where is it? Here we go. Sorry, guys. All right, here we go. So here's the EBSR question. Our EBSR question is called Evidence-Based Selected Response. All right? Evidence-based selected response. And with that evidence